Welcome back. I'm your host at Navy Legends, and I want to begin this one with a name that carries more weight in United States Navy history than almost any other. USS Cole, DDG-67, the ship that was moored in Aden Harbor on October 12, 2000, when a small fiberglass boat approached her port side during a routine fuel stop, and two men standing in that boat detonated 300 kilograms of C4 explosive against her hull. 17 American sailors died. 39 more were injured. The Cole's keel was buckled. Her engineering spaces were flooded. She nearly sank in the harbor. The USS Cole was repaired. She returned to service. She has been sailing the world's oceans for more than 2 decades since that morning in Aden. And the name she carries, the name of a ship that was nearly destroyed by a small boat with explosives, is a name that the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy's targeting staff knew precisely and deliberately when they selected her as the primary target for the most technically sophisticated, combined underwater and surface attack ever attempted against a United States Navy warship. They chose the Cole, not randomly, not because she was the most available target, because the psychological weight of that name, the memory of what a small boat with explosives did to her in 2000, made her the most resonant possible symbol for an operation designed to demonstrate that 25 years of U.S. Navy security upgrades, force protection protocols, and hard-learned lessons from the original attack had not made the Cole immune to the fundamental vulnerability that the 2000 attack exposed. A warship in a confined, operationally necessary position is a warship that cannot fully maneuver, cannot fully activate its sensors, and cannot fully employ its weapons against a threat that approaches from the water around it. The date is April 2nd, 2027. The time is 2:17 local. The central Persian Gulf, approximately 38 nautical miles east of Bahrain and 44 nautical miles northwest of the port of Abu Dhabi. The USS Cole is not moored. She is not in a port. She is underway, but barely. She is conducting a scheduled at-sea replenishment evolution with the USNS Kanawha, a Henry J. Kaiser-class fleet replenishment oiler, connected by 2 fuel lines, 2 stores transfer rigs, and a personnel high line to the oiler's port side. At-sea replenishment requires both ships to maintain a steady course and speed, 13 knots, course 040, and to remain within 50 meters of each other for the duration of the transfer. Duration of the transfer, approximately 90 minutes. Time elapsed at 2:17:47 minutes. The Cole has 43 minutes remaining on the replenishment rig before she can disconnect, maneuver freely, and bring her full defensive capability to bear. During those 43 minutes, the Cole cannot turn. She cannot accelerate or decelerate significantly without risking parting the fuel lines, which under pressure would send high-velocity fuel spray across both ships and create an immediate catastrophic fire risk. She cannot use her bow sonar actively without acoustic interference to the USNS Kanawha's hull. She is, in operational terms, exactly as constrained as a moored ship. She is tethered. And the IRGC's operational planning staff, which had been tracking the Cole's operational schedule through a combination of signals intelligence, human intelligence from within the Gulf's commercial maritime network, and the analysis of the Cole's patrol patterns over the previous 60 days, had identified the at-sea replenishment schedule for the night of April 2nd as the optimal engagement window. A Defense Intelligence Agency product distributed 3 days prior assessed the IRGC maritime threat as elevated, but did not specify the Cole as a target or identify the replenishment window as a vulnerability. The weapon system designated Thalab-II, Fox-II, is the IRGC's direct successor to the Thalab-I Houthi vehicle, developed at Bandar Abbas following the technical exploitation of the Thalab-I vehicle recovered intact from Djibouti Harbor in September 2026. The Thalab-II is longer, 5.8 meters, with a 140 kilogram shaped charge warhead versus the Thalab-I's 90 kilograms. Its passive acoustic seeker incorporates a machine learning signal classifier that distinguishes ship hull acoustic signatures with greater specificity than its predecessor. Its brushless motor, driving a 7-blade skewed propeller, produces a further reduced acoustic signature. And it carries one capability the Thalab one did not: a wire guidance link, allowing an operator to monitor and steer the vehicle during its approach phase before terminal acoustic homing takes over. Wire guidance: the ability to steer the vehicle around the bulk of the USNS Kanawha and into the approach corridor on the Cole's unobstructed port side. 3 Peykaap-III vehicles were launched from an IRGC logistics vessel operating under the cover of commercial registry, an Iranian-flagged Diao that had been in the Central Gulf for 9 days, moving between anchorages in the shallow water northeast of the Bahrain archipelago. The vehicles were launched over the side at 1:48 local in the darkness of a moonless night from a position 22 kilometers from the Cole's projected position at the time of activation. They ran at 4 knots on their AIP drive systems for 29 minutes, approaching on a course that kept them well outside the active sonar coverage of any vessel in the area, before receiving the coded activation signal at 2:17:08. The USNS Kanawha has no sonar. The Cole's AN/SQS-53C bow sonar is inactive, operating in passive listening mode only, at reduced sensitivity, to avoid acoustic interference with the replenishment evolution. The passive mode sensitivity against a 5.8-meter UUV running at 4 knots is limited. The vehicles have been designed around exactly this constraint. They are approaching in the acoustic shadow of the Kanawha's own hull, the side of the replenishment corridor where the oiler's engine noise and hull boundary layer create a zone of acoustic masking that the Cole's reduced sensitivity passive sonar cannot fully penetrate. At 2:17:08, the 3 Peykaap-III vehicles activate and accelerate to attack speed, 10 knots. Their wire guidance operators, seated at a monitoring console aboard the Diao, 22 kilometers away, can see the vehicle's position, bearing and distance to target on their display screens via the wire guidance data link. They can see the acoustic seeker's signal returns. They can steer. At 2:19:33, the first Peykaap-III vehicle rounds the bow of the USNS Kanawha and enters the 50-meter gap between the oiler and the Cole. The wire guidance operator aboard the Diao watches the display. The Cole's hull acoustic signature, the distinctive 31 Hz fundamental of her 2 GELM 2500 gas turbines, the circulation of her auxiliary systems, the hum of her electrical generation, is the strongest acoustic return in the seeker's field. The operator confirms the solution and activates the terminal acoustic seeker. Wire guidance is released. The Peykaap-II is on autonomous homing. At 2:19:41, the Cole's towed array sonar, the AN/SQR-19, streamed 1,400 meters astern of the ship, registers a contact. Not a clean transient. A gradual accumulation of mechanical noise at 14 Hz, rising above the background ambient on its closest hydrophone cluster. The sonar supervisor examines the waterfall display. The frequency is consistent with a small, slow-turning propeller. The bearing is 290 from the direction of the replenishment corridor, the gap between the Cole and the Kanawha. She calls it to the Tau. Tau, sonar. Possible contact, bearing 290 close range, consistent with UUV propulsion. Confidence moderate. The TAO responds in under 2 seconds. All stop on replenishment. Emergency disconnect. Helm, all back emergency. Launch Nixie. Emergency disconnect from a replenishment rig is a trained evolution, a sequence of actions practiced regularly in drills specifically because operational emergencies require the capability. But it is not instantaneous. The fuel lines are under pressure. The breakaway couplings require activation at both ships simultaneously. The store's transfer rigs require the traveling blocks to be cleared. The minimum time from emergency disconnect order to the moment both ships can maneuver independently is assessed at 90 to 120 seconds. The Cole has between 90 and 120 seconds. The Peykaap-III is at 180 meters range and closing at 10 knots. At 10 knots, it covers 180 meters in approximately 35 seconds. The Nixie deploys in 3.4 seconds. Its acoustic emission profile begins immediately, a replication of the Cole's propulsion signature, designed to seduce a passive acoustic seeker away from the hull. But the Peykaap-II's upgraded seeker classifier has been specifically programmed against the SLQ-25C, Nixie's emission profile. The IRGC's engineers, using the acoustic data collected from the Peykaap-I's terminal approach recordings in Djibouti, identified the Nixie's characteristic emission pattern and wrote a notch filter into the Peykaap-II's seeker discrimination algorithm, a software routine that specifically deprioritizes contacts matching the Nixie's acoustic signature in favor of the authentic ship hull return. The Peykaap-II does not go for the Nixie. At 2:20:04, the first Peykaap-II impacts the USS Cole's port hull at frame 94, 2.4 meters below the waterline. The 140-kilogram shaped charge detonates on contact. The shaped charge jet penetrates 24 millimeters of HY-80 steel and enters the auxiliary machinery space on the port side. The blast component, the 360-degree pressure wave, propagates outward through the water and upward through the hull. The keel in the vicinity of frame 94 deflects upward by 6 centimeters. 2 structural frames crack. The auxiliary machinery space flooding rate is approximately 900 liters per minute through the hull breach. A secondary blast pressure wave travels through the ship's internal volume, rupturing a hydraulic accumulator in the adjacent damage control equipment locker, a pressurized steel vessel that becomes a secondary fragmentation source, sending shrapnel through 2 internal bulkheads. 4 sailors in the auxiliary machinery space at the moment of detonation. 2 are struck directly by the shaped charge blast and fragmentation entering through the hull breach. Both sustain severe blast and fragmentation injuries, one to the chest and upper extremities, one to the lower body. Both are alive. Both are evacuated to the ship's medical bay within 4 minutes. Both will require surgical intervention. 2 other sailors in the space are thrown against equipment by the blast overpressure. One sustains a broken leg. One sustains lacerations and blast concussion. The replenishment disconnect is still in progress. The fuel lines have not yet cleared. The Cole cannot maneuver. At 2:20:19, the second Peykaap-II impacts the Cole's port hull at frame 144. Amidships, 15 centimeters further aft than the original Cole 2000 attack, directly adjacent to the ship's main machinery space. The 140-kilogram shaped charge detonates. The jet penetrates HY-80 steel and detonates inside the main machinery space. The GELM-2500 gas turbine on the port side sustains direct blast damage to its inlet section. The turbine trips immediately. The Cole loses port shaft propulsion. The blast in the main machinery space ruptures the primary fuel supply line for the starboard turbine. An unplanned secondary effect, the result of blast propagation through the machinery space in a path that the ship's damage control architecture had not been designed to fully contain. The starboard turbine shuts down on its automated fuel cutoff. The Cole loses all propulsion, a ship without propulsion, connected by a fuel line to a replenishment oiler in the central Persian Gulf at 2:20 in the morning. The replenishment disconnect is achieved at 2 hours, 20 minutes, and 44 seconds. 40 seconds after the first detonation. The fuel lines part at the breakaway couplings. The USNS Kanawha begins maneuvering away from the Cole, her captain driving the oiler northeast at maximum speed to clear the engagement area and reduce her exposure to whatever additional threat is in the water. The third Peykaap-II is still running. Its wire guidance operator has been watching the engagement on his display. He has seen both previous vehicles detonate against the Cole's hull. He is now steering the third vehicle toward the Cole's stern, the same vulnerable quarter that the Houthi attack in the Red Sea targeted, the area where the Nixie tow cable exits the hull and where the propulsion shafts pass through the hull to the propellers. Both shafts are now stopped. The propeller wash that would normally complicate a stern attack is absent. At 2:21:12, the towed array sonar, still active, the sonar operator working with extraordinary focus while the ship is being struck and flooded around her, picks up the third vehicle's propulsion signature at 310 meters, bearing 188, dead astern. The Cole has no propulsion. She cannot maneuver. Her CIWS systems, the two phalanx mounts, one forward and one aft, are not capable of engaging an underwater target. Her Mk-38 chain guns cannot depress to a waterline angle that would engage a submerged vehicle approaching from astern. She has no underwater weapon system, no shipboard torpedo launcher, no ASROC, that can engage a target at 310 meters in less than the time the vehicle has remaining on its approach. She has the Nixie, already deployed, already proven ineffective against this vehicle's seeker, the helicopter. An MH-60R Seahawk from HSM-72, call sign Sabre-71, has been on deck alert aboard the Cole throughout the replenishment evolution. The crew has been at 5-minute alert. From the moment the first weapon detonation sounded through the ship, the helicopter crew has been running to their aircraft. Standard 5-minute alert on a ship under attack, with engines preheated, becomes a 3-minute launch. The rotor system is turning. The crew is strapping in. At 2:21:44, 90 seconds after the first detonation, Sabre-71 is airborne from the Cole's flight deck. The MH-60R carries two Mk-54 lightweight torpedoes. The helicopter's dipping sonar, the AN/AQS-22, is not deployed. There is no time. The helicopter's magnetic anomaly detector, the MAD system, is active. The pilot pushes the aircraft to maximum speed and turns toward the datum, bearing called up from the ship's sonar team on the tactical circuit. Sabre-71, Cole sonar. Contact bearing 188, range estimated 200 meters from our stern, closing. MAD run now. The MAD boom detects the Peykaap-III's metallic signature at 2:22:07, 1 minute and 45 seconds after the first detonation. Range to the contact, 140 meters from the Cole's stern. The contact is at approximately 4 meters depth, shallow, almost surface running. The MAD hit is sharp and unambiguous. The pilot drops a Mark 54 from 40 feet altitude, directly onto the MAD hit position at 2:22:09. The weapon enters the water, activates its active acoustic seeker, and acquires the Thalab, 2 at 8 meters range on its first ping. The Mark 54 detonates against the Peykaap-III's hull at 2:22:11, 2 seconds after water entry. The 43.9 kilogram PBXN-103 warhead detonation at 4 meters depth, 98 meters astern of the Cole, produces a pressure wave that reaches the ship's stern as a 0.8 G impulse, less than the shock of the 2 previous detonations, but sufficient to crack 2 welds in the after sonar dome mounting structure and shatter the aft damage control equipment locker's interior lighting fixtures. No additional structural damage. The third Peykaap-II is destroyed 98 meters from the Cole's stern. The ship is no longer under attack, but the surface threat has not yet arrived. The IRGC's operational plan for April 2nd did not consist only of the Peykaap-II vehicles. The underwater phase was Phase 1. Phase 2, the surface attack, was designed to execute during the damage control window, the period immediately following the underwater detonations when the Cole's crew is focused on flooding, casualties, and propulsion loss, when the command team is managing multiple simultaneous emergencies, and when the psychological and cognitive load on every watch station is at its maximum. At 2:23:17, 3 minutes and 9 seconds after the first Peykaap-II detonation, 7 Peykaap-III fast attack craft emerge from behind the commercial vessel traffic that has been providing them with radar cover in the eastern shipping lane. They are 8.4 nautical miles from the Cole, accelerating to 50 knots. They carry Nasser-1 anti-ship missiles, 2 per boat, 14 missiles on 7 boats. 3 minutes and 40 seconds to weapon release range. The Cole's commanding officer has 3 minutes and 40 seconds to deal with 2 hull breaches, 4 seriously injured sailors, propulsion loss, and a fast boat attack. He deals with all of it simultaneously. The USS Mahan, DDG-72, operating 12 nautical miles south of the replenishment position on the task force's southern screen, has had the Cole's distress transmission for 4 minutes. She is closing at flank speed. Her 5-inch gun opens fire on the approaching Peykaap-III contacts at 2:24:11, 9 nautical miles. The fire is long range against fast maneuvering targets at night, and the first 6 rounds do not connect. But the Mahan is buying time. The Cole's own weapon systems, manned by damage control teams who are simultaneously fighting flooding and casualties below decks, engage the surface contacts with the ship's 2 Mk-38 chain guns at 2:24:44 as the fast boats enter 6-kilometer range. The chain gun fire is effective at this range against 23-meter fiberglass hulls. 2 Peykaap-III boats are destroyed in the next 90 seconds. 5 remaining boats launch their Nazar-1 missiles at 2:25:33 at a range of 4.8 nautical miles. 10 missiles inbound. The Cole has no SM-2. Her VLS, undamaged by the Peykaap-II attacks, contains ESSM rounds. She fires 6 in a compressed ripple sequence. All she can get in the air before the Nazar-1 terminal geometry compresses the engagement window below single-round flight time. 6 ESSM rounds against 10 inbound missiles. The Mahan's SM-2 rounds, already airborne, account for 4 of the 10 Nazar-1 missiles in the 6 to 3 nautical mile band. The Cole's 6 ESSM rounds account for 4 more inside 3 nautical miles. 2 missiles remain. The Cole's forward Phalanx CIWS engages the first surviving Nazar-1 at 1,300 meters. Clean kill at 1,100 meters. The aft Phalanx engages the second at 1,100 meters. The round is in the aft CIWS's fragmentation pattern at 900 meters. The seeker head is destroyed. The propulsion section is shredded, but the warhead body tumbles forward on residual momentum and impacts the sea 31 meters off the Cole's starboard quarter, detonating on water contact. The blast wave reaches the hull as a 0.4 G impulse. No structural damage. No additional casualties. The 3 remaining Peykaap-III boats, having lost their missiles and watching 2 of their number burn, break off and run for international waters at maximum speed. The Mahan pursues to 11 nautical miles and then holds. The engagement is over at 2:27:44. 10 minutes and 30 seconds from first Thalab, to detonation, to the last, Nazar-1 impact. The Cole has 2 hull breaches, progressive flooding assessed at 1,800 liters per minute combined. No propulsion, 4 sailors requiring immediate surgery, and 13 additional casualties from blast injuries and flooding response operations. She is listing 3 degrees to port. She is not going to sink. Her damage control teams are professional, and the breaches, though serious, are not catastrophic. But she is not going anywhere on her own power tonight. The USNS Kanawha, which cleared the area during the attack, returns to standby position 2 nautical miles east at 2:44. The Mahan comes alongside the Cole's starboard side at 03:12 to provide hull-to-hull damage control assistance and medical evacuation. A medical helicopter from the USS Abraham Lincoln, operating 190 nautical miles south, arrives at 3:41 and evacuates the 4 most critically injured sailors to the carrier's medical facility. Here at Navy Legends, the April 2nd attack on the USS Cole is the engagement the U.S. Navy has been warning itself about since October 2000. Not this specific attack, but the fundamental concept, a coordinated, multi-phase strike that uses the ship's operational constraints against her, that exploits windows where she cannot fully maneuver or fully defend, and that combines an underwater threat with a surface threat in sequence. The Cole survived the original attack in 2000. She survived this attack in 2027. The Seahawk crew that killed the third Thalib, 2 in under 2 minutes. The ESSM team firing while fighting flooding below decks. The damage control teams containing 2 hull breaches simultaneously. That response was what 25 years of hard training produced. But the IRGC had also spent 25 years studying those lessons. The Nixie notch filter, the replenishment window, the surface attack time to the damage control window. These are not improvised adaptations. They are the product of careful study of U.S. Navy force protection doctrine and the patient development of capabilities specifically designed to operate inside its seams. The ship named USS Cole has survived 2 attacks separated by 27 years. The lesson is not that the ship is indestructible. The lesson is that the adversary learns. And so does the crew. Stay informed, stay vigilant. I'll see you in the next one.